we all doing good today? It's a nice Sunday again. We love a good Sunday, right? The sky is all nice and pretty. Sun is out. Feels good. I can barely see though. It's all good. Anyways, I wanted to talk about idolizing things, people, places, ideas, stuff like that. It's a real specific example. There was a whole Michael Jackson situation that happened with that, right? Great music. We all thought, you know, he was a great person, and obviously accusations are accusations, but when you get all these storylines, you know, coming in, not exactly staying parallel anymore, but they're getting perpendicular and they hit each other, and it all starts to make sense at that 0 point right here, then it's like, well, these really aren't accusations anymore. Regardless of what you think about Michael Jackson, that's just the example I'm going for. Bear with me, we all know it, right? I say this because it's almost a waste of time. It is a waste of time to idolize these kind of things. For specific example, for Michael Jackson, you're not looking at your own success. You're staring at someone else's, and you're saying, wow, this is great, this is awesome, they're amazing, and like, that's it, period, you know? When it's quite literally the other way around. This is just someone you're watching succeed. They've taken many steps, they've had many people support them, or a lack thereof of support, but I do believe everyone needs a little bit of support to succeed in life in general, because there's so many ways to go about everything, but it's hard to start. I would even say it's impossible to get somewhere without the help of someone else. And that might be like a hot take, but when you really get down to it, there's connections for a reason. People know someone, and then you get going from there. And you shouldn't not just look down at yourself, but not look at yourself at all because of idolizing people. Now, I think you can look at people for examples, like, again, let's go Michael Jackson. Wow, great voice, great talent, but his biggest decision was leaving the Jackson 5, right? Now, staying with Jackson 5 was a great move. Obviously, they started him, they got him going, and they really made light of his singing capabilities. But he knew it was time to leave that environment to pursue his own goals. Not that the Jackson 5 wasn't his own goal, but a more central goal for him was to explore his capabilities, not the group's capabilities. And obviously he was limited in that group, not because they were bad, but because he was so above them in singing capabilities that he had to tone himself down to make the music sound good, right? But now that he was on his own, he was able to go and reach great lengths and great heights on his own individual singing career. And I say this based off of an experience I had, because I went to go see someone I wouldn't say I idolized, but I looked up to, which I think is a different thing. Looked up to as in you see these characteristics of them that you want to shape and mold into your own being, right? So I went to go see this person, and it was exactly how I thought it would go. It was an amazing experience, and I took away parts that I thought were valuable to me, and I moved on with my life, right? I never really talk about going to, not really meet this person, but going to see this person, because it's not important to anyone else. It really isn't. And there's a lot of stuff that isn't important to other people, you know? But in order to push and keep going and to succeed on your own merit and on your own terms and on your own volition, you have to be willing to make these kind of sacrificial plays, right? So again, Michael Jackson, we already talked about that, but I guess for me, it's just doing what I want, you know? I really like to do what I want, and I like to do it on my own terms, right? So I try to surround myself by people who understand this, and it can be very difficult to be okay with this because it's a very like individualistic lifestyle, I guess. But with that example of these people I've looked up to and seen how their success has helped them succeed further on after the initial success they had, it's hard to not, you know, try to mold that into your own lifestyle. Because if it works, why would you not do it, right? Now, it does sound like I'm saying, like, look at someone else and copy them in your own way. But I mean, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. And it's not a negative thing, and it's not a bash on people who want to be individuals, be their own person, create a completely original you. But let's be honest with ourselves. No one is an original you. I know that's a weird way to word it, but no one is original, long story short. Now you might say, oh, well, what about inventions, Cameron? What about inventions? People invent things. Those never existed. Yes, you're right. But inventions are the perpetual motion of science, right? You can't invent something without having something come before it, right? That's just how it works. They're just stacks and stacks. They're Legos. You need to build the base to get to the top, right? The top is being that new invention, but the next block is another invention, right? Yes, that's a new idea, but that new idea was sculpted by unoriginality. And that's okay, because we can't make things better without having some kind of basis to improve on, right? Same with people. We can't be better without having examples or a basis, again, to improve off of and be better versions of ourselves. We're all copying someone or something or some idea or something. It's just how we're copying them and making them and having all these different versions of it that make us who we are. That's our originality. That's why I believe that if we outsource and we explore these different ideas and explore people and explore the societies, not just your own, but others throughout, I'm not saying you have to go anywhere and do all this stuff, but just research, right? If we do all this stuff, you become a different you, but the same you. You just become a you that has a little bit more blocks. You with more inventions, right? And that doesn't make you better or worse, it just makes you different. And I think when you're different, you're able to do more. And that's the basis of what I'm trying to say, is when you idolize someone, you limit yourself. You only look at them. I believe that if you're gonna idolize anyone, you should idolize everyone, everything, every idea. Because everything is important in the grand scheme of things. Because all of that keeps building and all that leads to something else. So why not look at all of it and say all of this is awesome and I want to copy all of it. Now I know that's a dangerous thought, because now you're thinking, oh, well, there's some really negative ideas in there, right? There's really negative people in there. There's really negative blah, blah, blah. Yes, just because you are idolizing all of these things doesn't mean you're going to use all of it, right? You can't have a yin without a yang. You can't realize something is bad without knowing what good is, and vice versa. You need to know what bad stuff is so you can avoid it. That's all I'm saying. Same with the good stuff. You need to understand what the good stuff is so you can keep yourself on track with that stuff. This is stuff I believe we all know. We just don't want to utilize it because it's difficult. But life is difficult. So let's stop being lazy and let's do it, Let's go out and let's research and let's go and explore not just ourselves but others and things, because that's how we become better or different, whichever word you want to use, although they're both kind of interchangeable in this context. But I'll leave you guys on that. Stop idolizing people unless it's everything, and go from there. See you guys whenever the next video drops. Bye guys.